R&B and hip-hop acts from like 10, 15 years ago have all pivoted to country because the backward fucking rednecks are the only ones that still buy actual CDs. It's like hard copy. It's a commercial move. Another thing I wanted to talk about tonight was the Grammys. Guys, can we talk about the Grammys, the Grammy Awards, big music event in Los Angeles normally, I think? Because I don't know if you saw the Grammys or if you read some of the coverage from it. I think it's Sunday night it took place. If you saw the award winners or the nominations. But for me, it was quite eye-opening. Basically, like how bad music has become industrially. And we've danced around this before on this show, though not admittedly for a while, about the changing shape of the music business, like where it's gone from and where it's at now. But I think this is the first time I've looked at the Grammys like people used to look at the Brits, you know, when that went stale. Because a lot of people only remember like the Brits from the Oasis days, right? From the pulp glory days in the 90s. But before the Britpop years, fuck me gently. It was awful. Oh my God. The Brits had got bad. It's just Samantha Fox hosting it, and George Michael would win an award, and then Phil Collins would win an award, and then Rod Stewart would win an award. Like, you get the idea. It's just all of the expected, very commercial acts, and it was equal parts boring and beige. Performances by Jive Bunny and Yaz, or, you know, some shit. Sponsored by Comet, probably, like that kind of vibe. With a monologue by Russ Abbott. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. You know, you get the idea. I'm painting a picture for you, right? So, that is where it feels like the Grammys are now. Because I saw the nominations, right, ahead of time, and then I saw the winners from the other night. And I was just like, wow, that is... Like, what does this tell us about music? Because now I'm like, I used to be big into music. I used to be in a band, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I still sort of keep a loose eye on what's going on. But I'm also very political these days. I'm also involved in satire and, you know, podcasts and activism to a lesser extent, maybe. And so I'm like looking at it through that prism also, where I'm like, what does it tell us about music and about entertainment? But also, what does it tell us about society? More broadly, that everything getting nominated or winning these things now feels like it's fucking 30 years old, 30 years in the game. Like, minimum is how it feels when you look at the names that are winning these awards. Like, how are the Beatles winning the award for best rock performance? Best rock vocal. The Beatles have won it in 2025. How do you explain that? Like, who do they beat for best rock performance? Fucking Herman's Hermits. Who else was in the category? How in the name of fuckery are the Rolling Stones walking away with the best rock metal album in 2025? How are they doing it? Who's nominating them for that award? Best rock metal album, really? Like, was there really no bands that put out a better rock or metal album than the Rolling Stones in the last year? There's none, really. Nobody was better than the fucking 80-year-old Rolling Stones. Best rock performance, best rock metal album, and they both get grabbed by two bands who peaked. They commercially peaked like 50 fucking years ago. Like, how is this? How is this anything other than farce? And I looked at the R&B awards also. Fucking Chris Brown. Best R&B album. Chris Brown. who, by the way, he first debuted in like 2004. So even though he's not like a relic like the Beatles and the Stones, I mean, he's still 20 years deep, right? And he's the best that anyone in the Grammys can find for best R&B album, really, is Chris fucking Brown. Chris Brown's latest album is the best, right? Okay. Chris Brown of misogyny fame. Chris Brown of physically assaulting Rihanna fame. Chris Brown of threatening voicemails and restraining orders fame. That guy. That guy who is 20 years into his career. That is the best that the Grammys can do. Is it? That's the best R&B album that anyone can achieve today. Is that guy. I mean, I suppose we should probably take some solace in the fact that regardless of his awards, any award that he's won, Chris Brown is probably more famous for assaulting Rihanna than any of his actual fucking music. Like his biggest hit is misogyny. He's a misogyny star. Like it's what? Imagine that being your USP. I mean, the most famous thing you've done is beat up your fucking girlfriend. Score! What a talent. But still, anyway, that's Chris Brown. And armed with all of that knowledge, all of that context, his background, all of the tabloid stuff, the Grammys are like, hey, here you go, King. You're the best. So that was rock and metal and R&B. And the Pop Star Awards too, I took a look at, which are, they're a bit more up to date, as you might expect, because, it kind of has to be whatever has been popular over the last 12 months or so. But still, it's very established, safe, stadium tour pop stars, rather than, anything up and coming or interesting or, it's all like it's Taylor Swift, it's Billie Eilish, it's Ariana Grande, it's Beyonce. And Beyonce was weird because she won the best country album Grammy. Like these R&B and hip-hop acts from 10, 15 years ago have all pivoted to country because the backward fucking rednecks are the only ones that still buy actual CDs. It's like hard copy. It's a commercial move. They're like, oh, I'm country now. Oh, are you? Beyonce's gone country. Oh, okay, well, we'll give her the best country album then. Like, fuck your friend Billy Ray from Missouri or Texas. Taught himself to play the guitar at 12 years old. Taught himself to write songs. Toured around Nashville. Clearly, the nominations for best country album, I mean, that shouldn't just go to Beyonce. It should be won by Beyonce, but then it should be, the other nominations should be, get this right. So Beyonce, Jelly Roll, also a rapper, and Post Malone, and Miley Cyrus, who kind of sort of started out as country, but is now, comfortably pop. But all of them have pivoted back to country, and Beyonce just won it.